And later this week, officials from the US and Russia will begin talks in Washington on the situation in Aleppo. And meanwhile, Turkish Prime Minister Binali Yildirim is now in Moscow for 2 days of meetings, expected to focus first on business. Our correspondent Julia Lyubova reports from both stories from Moscow.
Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that Moscow will treat rebels who stay behind in eastern Aleppo as terrorists. Russia and the US are due to hold talks on the withdrawal of rebels later this week. According to Sergei Lavrov, once the deal with the US is reached, any rebels who stay behind in Aleppo will be treated by Moscow as terrorists. The Defense Ministry in Moscow said that a Russian fighter jet has crashed in the Mediterranean Sea while trying to land on the Admiral Kuznetsov aircraft carrier. The pilot has rejected himself from the plane and is now safe. Meanwhile, in Moscow, the Turkish Prime Minister will be discussing business with Moscow on his 2-day visit to Russia. The Turkish Prime Minister is expected to meet for negotiations with his Russian counterpart, Dmitry Medvedev, to discuss further steps on normalization of relations between the two countries. It is expected that the agenda will include the creation of a free trade zone and also the development of tourism. The two sides will discuss using national currencies in the trade between Russia and Turkey. The Turkish Prime Minister is also expected to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday. They are likely to discuss the situation in Syria. Last week, the Kremlin has demanded an explanation from Ankara after the Turkish president said he had sent troops into Syria to topple Bashar al-Assad. Julia Lyubova, CCTV, Moscow.